also. Oh, wow. Do you have sound now? Crazy. So Rhonda didn't tell me, hear me say good morning. We're going to start all over. Is that okay? Wow. I had hit this crazy new microphone I have. I'll show it to you. This crazy new mic I have. You see that green thing? If I touch that with the wrong finger, so my finger touched it and we did all the damage in the world. So, all right, good. You can hear me now. Wonderful, wonderful. So sorry about that. So anyway, what I was talking about, and Trey can edit all that out. Good morning. We're glad you're here. So grateful you're here. I said give Trey Bowden some big heads up because he helps do all this technology. And I think Trey's here with us this morning. Trey Bowden, can you jump in and say hello if you're here? And we are going to talk about gratitude this morning. Who are you grateful for? That's who you want to put in the comments right now. That's who you want to say, hey, I'm on Facebook with Kurt. We're talking about the end of the year and we're talking about gratitude and who we're grateful for. And I thought of you first. Boom, put their name in the comments, invite them to join us. And they can join us now, they can join us later. But unfortunately, unless your peeps are scrolling on their phones in the moment when this alert pops up, Facebook is we have to knock on their door, tap on their window, and that's how Facebook's algorithms kind of wake everybody up. So this probably is my favorite time of year. I don't know if you all like it. What's one thing that you all, in addition to eating turkey and dressing, hanging out with family, buying Christmas gifts, celebrating the reason for the season, what is something you habitually have done, traditionally have done over the previous years in your life to make the last 60 days of the year from the 45 days, mid-November through the new year? What have you done to make that time productive? I'd love to hear in the comments. Or everybody give me one thing that's kind of your thing, your gig that you do in the holiday season to make things happen. Anybody? One of my most painful things is to just sit there and let silence happen. So I have to just keep talking. But think about, what do you do habitually? And this is one of the things that I would like for us to start as a new habit. Are y'all in for learning a new skill that could be something you want to keep doing for a long time? That could be your end of the year holiday kind of gig. You want to do that? Okay, Sharon says she sends out Thanksgiving cards to her team and her customers. Jody stays consistent in her conversations. What else? Rhonda says she focuses more on gratitude. You stole my idea today, Rhonda. Okay, we're going to talk about that. All right, everybody's got sound. Everybody's inviting some people. Let's dive in here so that we're not here all day long. Let's talk about the end of the year, the attitude of gratitude. We know we should do it. Actually, I was in a Bible study yesterday morning. And it's me, my pastor, and two other guys, and we're going to spend a year together just diving into the Word and stuff. And we were actually in the books of the books of poetry in Scripture, kind of talking like a big meta-narrative viewpoint. What are the books of Job, Psalms, Proverbs, and Ecclesiastes about? Job, Psalms, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, Song of Solomon. Couldn't remember the last one. What are they all about? And a lot of it, there's so much in there. But you get into Song of Solomon, and it's just how much Solomon cherishes his wife, and there's all this praise and adoration for each other. And throughout Psalms, we're to praise God, And so we connected yesterday. We connected praise with gratitude, because it really is. When you're grateful for somebody, you are praising them, you're encouraging them. And some of the guys were hysterical. We got text back. Yesterday was Lori's birthday. So, I was pretty good at praising and doing things. I put Post-it notes around the house, got her some flowers, took her to dinner. And we're going to do a big family birthday dinner Friday. But it was not a normal day for me. But the guys were like, one of them went home and said, well, I really just told my wife how awesome and beautiful and wonderful she was. And he said, I guess it was so abnormal that I don't normally do that. She says, okay, what do you want now? So, it was hysterical, So it's like that we got to work on it being a regular habit instead of like shocking people with like, he never tells me he's thankful for me or whatever. But we should be in that attitude of praise or gratitude all the time. But I love what Rhonda said. Now is a season where we can work on that habit again. We can use this season an opportunity to praise, encourage, and work on relationships. So, one of the things that I think about all the time, and it goes back to our days of having the art of conversation. We were trying to really, get rid of trying to close. And it's not all about closing; it's about conversations. And out of the quantity of conversations come quality. Excuse me. And our business is all about conversations. So I guess one of the first things I would ask you right now, that let's really use the comments today. I know I cannot hear you and we can't talk back and forth to each other, but we can as a community really be a sounding board for each other. Okay, so I'm going to ask you a question. How many of you have at least, I'm not what I want to put you on the spot. How many conversations, and you can guess because I didn't ask you ahead of time, how many conversations do you have going on right now with someone about the product or our business where they haven't closed, made a decision, but you're having conversations with them? Just guess for me in your pipeline of people that you're talking to that you need to be in regular follow-up with, how many of those do you have right now? If I were to ask you that starting today, how many people do you have in your conversation pipeline that you're already talking to? Give me some numbers. You know what? And if it's 0, say it's 0 and you're going to do better. If it's 100, tell me it's 100. But if it's 10, don't exaggerate and say it's 100. Okay, Lisa says 10. Sharon says 5. Janet says 4. Okay, so we've all got varying degrees. I know Rhonda's got a bunch. Probably Rhonda's got 12 to 15. I would say I'm in that 10 to 20 number somewhere because I didn't count mine either. Jody's got 30. That's great. Karen's got 60. Okay, so what we're gonna keep putting the numbers in there. I want to hear what you got. See, Robin's got 3 and things are 3 and she's getting better. But if you start a season of your business, whether it's a new month, a new quarter, or a new year, and your conversation pipeline is full, this business is easy. It's when you start a new month and your conversation pipeline is empty, then you're starting the month having to stir up stuff, knowing that the 80% of all sales close on the 5th conversation or after, and it's hard to play catch up and get something done that month. So we need to keep our conversation pipeline full, okay? So, what I found is that this time of year, a couple things happen. I mean, there are people that just shut down, and certainly the retail world. I mean, you're going to think this is so funny, but our favorite place to shop now is Ace Hardware. We live at Lake Oconee. It's beautiful. There are 9 golf courses, a Ritz-Carlton. We got a farm down here to hunt on, and we live on the lake. It's beautiful, but we're not in Atlanta where all the shopping and stuff is, and we have the world's best Ace Hardware down here. I mean, it is like, it's the bomb, and they have like an Outfitters out in front of it where they've got all the, Patagonia, On Cloud, North Face, all the hoochie coochie frat kind of clothing and cute stuff for girls. But it's our only place to shop. We have a Home Depot down here too. But what I noticed was, I mean, it's got to be earlier and earlier every year they get Christmas trees up. I mean, they had Christmas trees up with the pumpkins this year, I mean, it was crazy. But most people, one group of people this time of year, they give into the circus that our world creates, okay? Whether it's Home Depot, the TV ads, Publix already planning your Thanksgiving meal for you, or the Ace Hardware, having lights and every shape, size, and fancy of blow up Christmas figurine for your front yard. Some people just give into that and they shut down. They just it's their excuse, or they love that time of year so much they just shut down. How many of you have already got your Christmas tree up? That's just a good trivia, curious thing for me. I mean, we have 4 up in our house already. And I did the physical labor of getting them to sit where they go, but Hope and Lori decorated all of them. So it's painful for me to do all the decorating. I love it. I help get it started and I help clean it up, but I don't do a lot of the decorating. So, so some just shut down. Some may use it as an excuse to give up when the holiday season hits. But others, kind of like Rhonda said, and I didn't see all the comments. I guess Trey didn't join us this morning. He must have had a crisis at his house. Um, but so I can't. So I'm saying that because I'm not seeing all the. I'm seeing some of the comments, but if I missed your comment, I'm not. I'm not just picking on Rhonda or somebody. I just happened to see your comment first. Um, so shut down. Some people shut down. Some people just use it as an excuse and give up. But others see it as a difference. It is different. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you that we can just ignore this time of year and just make it like normal. You can't do that. But it's just like, it's a wonderful time of year. It's a beautiful time of year. It's when we celebrate the birth of Jesus. It's when we have a time to celebrate how thankful we are for the pilgrims and Indians settling and meeting together in our country. It's a time of year when we get to have a fresh start and the new year happens. Okay, so it's a great time of year, but how do we make the most of that and not let it consume us and we fall apart? Okay, and we lose ground in what we've gained. So some of us take advantage of that season. Okay, so I believe, and the way I'm going to describe it to you is because conversations. Who do we have to have? What are the ingredients we have to have a conversation? Well, you number one, but you got to have somebody else to talk to. When you talk to a wall or talk to your dog, it doesn't count. I talk to my dog all the time, and he and I do have conversations. And my wife thinks I'm crazy, but I love my dog. He's my buddy, and I think he understands every word I say. He just can't quite answer me because he doesn't. He almost speaks English, but not quite. Um, but that doesn't count. The conversation with your dog doesn't count. You have to have another person. So it's time to invest in relational capital. A whole nother training. It's on our website, and if Trey was here, he could put the links in for you. But on our website, there's training on relational capital. Okay, at onemakealife.com. And maybe we can come back in and put those links in here. I don't know where Trey is. That's strange. Hope he's okay this morning. So the holidays are a great time to invest in that relational capital. And it's just like your finances. You have a bank balance and an account, and you want to grow that and make it as big as it possibly can be. And with your calendar, you want to maximize the use of your time and have your time management, and you have your calendar as an asset if you manage it well. And your relational capital is your investment in the people in your life and their investment back in you. And that relationship that you have, how big is your bank account of relational capital that you can grow and expand and do amazing things down the road? Are you investing in that? And let's take a look at that, because this time of year is the best time of year to make that investment. Okay. One thing you want to let's think about is right now, don't let people perceive you as in sell mode. Be in thank mode. Don't sell, thank. Just think about that for a minute. Don't sell, thank. It's not that you don't want to sell, but it's how do you want to come across in the moment? Do you want to sincerely be thankful and grateful and appreciative? Or do you want to try and fake that and still be in 100% aggressive sales mode? Yes, Rhonda, you are rich in relationships. 3-foot rule. You know, I'm rich because I've got all of you guys. I know each and every one of you, I think, on the line tonight, and I'm blessed because I know you, you know? So don't sell, thank. And let's dig a little deeper here. Now, I'm not going to dive into this. There is an hour training on this, but if you looked at a grid and the vertical line of the grid was invitation, it was the feel good invitation to join, to buy, to purchase. It was that, that feel good moment that that makes you want to join somebody. And then the horizontal line is the challenge. That's the intensity. That's the vigor to close, win the race, whatever you want to call it. Okay. But one is inviting, one is challenging. And so let's look at this for just a minute and let's decide where we want to arrive. But if you're in that upper left quadrant, you're weak on invitation and you're high on invitation, I'm sorry, and you're weak on challenge. So this is just to be a buddy, an acquaintance, and you may be passively interactive with them, passively selling. Okay. And then in the bottom right, you've got the other extreme, which is where this is a high pressure selling. It's where you don't have very many conversations going on. And every time you drive in that place, the invitation's low and the close and the challenge is super high. That's a very uncomfortable place to be with your relational capital. And then in the bottom left, it's those that have given up, and there's no selling, there's no invite, and there's no challenge. There's no invitation to participate and deepen the relationship. And there's also no attempt to sell or close. And then the top right, which is where we want to be, these are your best friends and relationships. And best friend, don't take that literally, not like your best friend, but that's the type of relationship. When that friend is a quality friend and the relationship is more important than the close, but it's where your biggest sales occur. And the biggest sales occur because they know that whether they buy or not, your relationship is safe and more important. Once that comes across, then the rapport is there, the trust is there, the interest is there in your invite. And then in the challenge, the outward, what's the right word? The outward drive to close the sale doesn't feel like high pressure because they openly desired your invite. And now they want to see what that looks like to live in that invitation and go move forward with you. And that's what we get when we invest in our relational capital. Okay, so this is where we all want to be, whether it's Thanksgiving and it's the turkey. Craziest thing. This is another question. I mean, I'm just interested in this. So, Jody, that's cool that you're doing lunches and coffees with people throughout the holidays. That's awesome. Friendsgiving, that's cool. Me and my boys, we love to hunt and be outdoors, and we love to eat. Everybody in our family loves to eat. We're trying to learn to eat to live instead of living to eat. Anybody seem to have that problem during the holidays? Or are you already like thinking about what grandmom's cooking or what dish of family tradition are you going to cook that's got 4,000 gallons of sugar in it, but you're going to eat it, or you're going to eat enough turkey and the tryptophan's going to kick in and you're going to have this huge nap on the sofa. So what I was going to ask you is, that's not my question. I rambled there. So we love to hunt. And my wife and my daughter, the girls in our family, and my daughters-in-law, have always said, why don't y'all kill us a turkey for Thanksgiving? Because we have turkey on our property and we shoot turkeys. This craziest thing in Georgia, every state's different, but you can only hunt turkey in Georgia from mid-March to mid-May. You can't hunt turkey. You see tons of them while you're hunting deer, but you cannot hunt a turkey in Georgia in the fall, so you can't actually go kill a turkey and eat it for Thanksgiving. How many of you all have had like somebody, a family member, you're in a state where you can actually hunt turkeys right now and they could go kill you a fresh turkey and eat it for Thanksgiving? That would be so much fun. I'd love to know if any of you all have had a husband, a son, a parent, or even maybe yourself, because I know some girls that are crazy hunters. Have you actually had a live turkey for Christmas? You didn't eat a live turkey, but it was a freshly killed turkey. Anyway, so this is where we want to wind up and this is where we want to live, okay? Now, here's what is going to make this so easy, okay? It's going to make it like just jamming fun for you. Because I know there's two reasons. Even when I got in the business, the image wasn't as great as this image that Trey found, but this is a great iPhone image. But mine was this. The image we used to use was the old rotary dial phones that you picked them up and there was an earpiece on each side, and they made the handset look like a dumbbell. and they talked about, why are you not on the phone with people? Why does the phone feel so heavy and you're just so resistant to pick it up? So resistant to pick it up. Tell Roland to get me a turkey, Rhonda, and so I can have a 1 year, we could have one that was fresh. That's awesome. Roland and I, we're probably overdue in 20 something years. We probably ought to do a hunting trip together. So this is the iPhone instead of the old dial telephone. Is a burden on your back. And today, I think the reason people don't pick up the phone and take action in our business, I think there's two. I think they're still afraid of someone saying no. So there's a fear of objections. There's a fear of being rejected. So you just talk yourself out of picking up the phone. You procrastinate. I think the other reason is that you've just gone to a new method and you think your thumbs work better than your tongue. Now, just a little trivia. The strongest muscle in your body is the one we're trying to not use if we're using our thumbs. Your tongue, pound for pound, is the strongest muscle in your body. Scientific fact. And we're trying to use our thumbs instead of our tongue that God gave us to have conversation. And to me, that's the thumbs create a transaction. You don't have conversations with typing. You swap information. There's no passion, no emotion. I don't care how good you are at putting emojis in the text and making it Greek for somebody to figure out what you're trying to say. It's cute. It's great. And I try to do it too sometimes. But we got to use our voice. And so think about this for just a minute. Most of the times of the year, you have to really, when you call somebody, hey, you want to buy Juice Plus? Or you're like, okay, what am I going to say when I call them? I have no idea what to say. How am I going to start the conversation? What if they get mad at me? What if they say no? What if they like, are you calling to tell me something again? Or whatever, my next step, sorry. You can easily procrastinate. But right now, what if you could think of, and I wish we had like an hour we could just stop. But you can pause the video right now if you want to. But we could just stop and I could say, why don't you text or call? I mean, you can't do the calls right now in the time period. So I'm just trying to give you something you could do immediately. But who are 10 people that you could reach out to and say something like this? I just want you to know how much you mean to me. Every moment we spend together is so valuable. Let's do more life together in 2025. I appreciate you. Now, does that, asking you to do that, does that make you want to procrastinate, make the phone feel heavy? Or is that like, gosh, I don't do this enough. There's 50 people that I need to tell that to right now. Why don't you make a list of 50 people that you could invest in your relational capital? You could make your account balance of relational capital grow stronger and deeper right now. And you don't have to use my words. That's just an example of what I sent somebody and what you could send somebody. But who are 50 people? And 50, okay, 10. 50 should be easy. Aren't there 50 people you appreciate that you've not done a good enough job telling them that? It can be a customer. It doesn't have to be somebody you've never talked to. It could be a customer that you haven't engaged with in a long time, and you want to dig deeper, and you'd love to have them in your business, or they take Juice Plus, and they'd be blessed in 2025 by, maybe cutting out some sugary cereal and adding complete to their breakfast. But you need to start a conversation with them, and you're not just going to wide open just say, hey, what did you eat for breakfast today? I got a solution. No, that's not how you start it. You got to start a conversation. So whether it's Thanksgiving, maybe you come up with one that's around Christmas, maybe you do a New Year's one, but what could you send out to 10, 20, 30, 50 people, and your whole goal is to deepen your relationship with them, let them know you value them, they're important, and you all need to connect more often. Okay? So this would be, we could do, like Rhonda said right there, we could do, this could be a whole power hour. And little secret, it's going to be, I'm doing a live power hour on Friday. I do a live one once a month. I've got a recorded one that's there. You can use 24 hours a day at makealife.com/power hour. But this will be one of our little tasks we're going to do during our live power hour this Friday, November the 22nd at 11 a.m. So there's a slide, and we'll talk about that in a minute, okay? All right. So that's your challenge to finish this month strong. Let's close the business we have on the table. Let's do what we normally do. Let's get our data, and I know it's getting better. It's painful trying to find stuff because we were stuck in the way we did it for 20-something years. And then the transition to the new data has been challenging. The changeover has been, change is always a pain, but this one was made an extra pain by just the data migration and not being great. But I promise you, I mean, I'm on the phone constantly behind the scenes too, also dealing every day with what you're dealing with, and it's getting better, and we're close. We're getting closer and closer to it being on track. And we're going to have a special Zoom call soon that's going to be a web walk with Stacy Whitmer, one of our regional directors, and she's going to walk through the entire entire new system for you as a leader and as a customer. And Wendy Campbell and we were just talking and working on that together. Hey, Trey Bowden, you're here. I was hoping you were okay. I was bragging on you, Trey, and just praising you, which is what our goal is in the beginning. And I don't think you were here to hear all my praise. When you edit the video, you'll have to listen to all my crazy praise stuff. And since you weren't here in the beginning, we had mic problems, so we had to, like 30 seconds in, we started over. So you can take care of all that. He's magic. Hey, Trey, one of the things, we'll get there in a minute. Let me keep going. I'm glad you're here. So if you want to work on your relational capital, hey, that's what you got to do. You got to be a dad first. No big deal. So that's Trey saying he had to, make a last minute run up to the school. So you know what? We have grace for each other, and we made it fine without him, but it's so much better when he's here. So we're glad you're here, Trey. So one of the ways, if you've never made a list and you've never, I guess if I told, let me back up one side. If I told you to do this right here and we had a challenge to text 30, 40, 50 people, okay? Those of you right now that have a up-to-date, current, active memory jogger, you would just go, you jump right into it and you'd be there. Some of you have never made a memory jogger, especially some of the people that we're glad that somebody invited you to the call, and there's a lot of names in here of people that are getting tagged. And if you want someone to join us, go ahead, please tag them. But those of you that said, oh, wow, Cindy tagged me, I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to go watch this video. We're glad you're here. Maybe you've never made a memory jogger. Maybe you don't have a list to work from. But I always get reminded this time of year, guess what happens? Santa's making his list and he's checking it twice. I want to know if you're making your list. So I always think about Santa's list and all the list of toys kids around the world are making that they desire to have for Christmas. And this is an important, that brings the list thing to clarity and focus. And we have a resource for that. So if you've never made a memory jogger, or maybe yours is not current, maybe you did it once and thought you were done, because if you had a good memory jogger, you could jump on this text thing and reach out to 50 people. You could probably do it, and you probably could reach out to 30 in 50 minutes, okay? But if you didn't have your list, you wouldn't be ready to begin this new conversation task, okay? So you can go makealife.com/memory jogger, scan the QR code. Trey's so efficient here, and you can get memory jogger training and join us, okay? Let's focus on, personal appreciation too. As you work on your list and you get that list, I'm going to go just a little bit deeper with you. So of the types of people you could do, now we're going to do this on Friday, the power hour at 11. We're going to make texting people you appreciate part of that power hour. But I want you to think about, if you're not going to be on there, if you want to really dig deeper, who can you personally appreciate? Like just individuals that you that you need to express personal appreciation to with no holiday. Just, I appreciate you. You're invaluable in my life. I could send a message right now to somebody